name is Lance Corporal David Royce Dexter. I'm an MC driver. Main day-to-day roles is driving the vehicles, carrying out details around camp, basic maintenance, so servicing, parts repairs that most people can do at home in your garage, with a few screwdrivers. So the main one's the Land Rover. Manus V is a support vehicle, so that can carry stores, personnel, ADR, fuel, multiple variants of SV out there to drive and operate. And as you go on through your career, you start advancing and becoming a B2, B1. You go on to the tracker, crane, the MLET, which is a low-loading vehicle, and the Able BVs. The Able's an automotive bridge lodging equipment, so it's 3-vehicle setup, and it can bridge a gap of up to 32 metres. It can be put out in around 2 hours and having up to 90 tonnes worth of heavy armour going over it.
I'm Corporal Partridge. My job role is I'm a signaller, C3S operator. Engineer signallers, we understand the engineer trade. So we provide communications around the battlefield for engineer-specific tasks. So we've got 2 main radios. We've got a VHF, which tends to be sort of shorter communications. We've then got HF comms, which are going to be for long-range integration. And there's also other things like satellite communications, which you can use in more specialist roles.
My name's Stafford Montgomery, and I'm a Royal Engineers electrician. We provide the ability for the Army to live in the field of operations, so if we get somewhere and we are going to be staying for an extended period of time, buildings will be going up and people need power, they need light to see, move around. It does take a bit of brain power, so it's quite challenging, but you get a City and Guilds electrician qualification, which does apply back in Civvy Street, enables you to work anywhere.
My name is Corporal Chidi, and my job role is a fitter. The Army's got a lot of mechanical equipment, as you can imagine. The fitters, we specialise in the C vehicles, so the dozer, the excavator, the grader, which levels the road off, and the 4CXs, so like your diggers. Our role basically is to maintain those in the field army and ensuring that they operate to their best performance. The knowledge comes from the experience, I suppose, more than anything else. As a Class 2, I would have come through and done my basic fitter general course, and I've gone on to become a Class 1 fitter. So you go through all sorts of circuit diagrams, we'll go through how pressure works and different things like that. It's one of those jobs where you get the sense of satisfaction from your input. For instance, something breaks down, everything stops. You're then the guy that comes and solves the problem. So that's one of the reasons why I love it so much, because it's such a key job and it does make a difference.
I'm Lance Corporal Yap. I'm a heating and plumbing engineer. We cover all sorts of subjects like central heating, the plumbing, all the pipe work and guttering. When you're out in the field, all the plumbing there can be maintained by us and installed by us. You can do a full install of all the heating and plumbing, fit boilers, central heating system. I'm learning now to do all the gas stuff. Been out to Kenya and built a full tented camp and did all the plumbing for that, all the showers and toilets and things. It's good for morale when you've got warm showers and toilets and things that you wouldn't have normally without us. So here we get a lot of qualifications that aren't just relevant in the military life, you can take them to Civvy Street as well. Got an MVQ when I finished training, and people pay a lot of money for the civilian qualifications that we get here for free.
I'm a Sapper Haps, I'm the design draftsman. We get a detailed drawing from our designers, it comes to us, we interpret it as draftsmen. Normal tradesmen, if they look at the drawing, it might be quite difficult to understand, so we take it apart and make it a lot more simple. If they find something wrong with what we give them, then they just give us a call, we come down, and then we talk about a solution. They'll usually come up with a solution themselves to do, and we just either interpret that into the drawings, or we'll come up with a solution to their problem. It's also good to have the basic knowledge of all the different trades, so that if a problem does occur, you can come up with something that's within their skill set to do. You've got to be able to think on your feet. Often you'll come up with an idea, you'll get all the drawings and the plans done, everything in place. When you actually get on the ground, it's got to change completely, and you've got to start all over again, and be able to do it on the fly and do it quickly. The main technology and software that we use is AutoCAD Inventor. It's a fantastic program, you can design anything you want. We also use a program called Revit, which allows you take the building and you give each of the items sort of properties, so that if you put a wall in the wrong place, it'll tell you it's in the wrong place and it won't work. It sort of evolved from using the old drawing boards and ink and paper. We still get a bit of that when it comes up. First design sketched out in paper, and then we interpret those into full detailed plans.
I'm Lance Corporal Pape Jones. I serve as a draftsman, electrical and mechanical in the Royal Engineers. Our team is primarily bulk fuel installations, so it's all to do with pipe work to deliver fuel on the ground. Well, you need A star to C across the board in English, Maths and Science to get you into the design trade. And then when you go into your first part of the training, you do a City and Guilds in AutoCAD, which is the software that we use. It's rewarding knowing that you've created some sort of product and that product is being used to help other people do their job.
I'm Sapper Zafir, and my job in the Army is a construction material technician. We're the people making sure that the ground is strong enough to support any structure on top of it. We got the mature drill rig. So the mature drill rig can go in the ground up to maybe 20 meters, drill down into the ground. Whenever the strata change, get the sample out and then bring it back to the lab and just check what type of soil it is, making sure that the ground is strong enough to support the structure for the long terms. I wanted to become a construction material technician to get more experience into construction-related subjects. The Army will teach you everything you need.
My name is Sapper Mark Jarrett, and I'm a surveyor. The surveyors will go out first and collect information, so what services are there, make sure everything goes in the right place, and then when the designs are drawn up, we'll then set it out, and during the construction we will make sure that goes correctly to plan. The main equipment we use. We start off with the very basics, so we learn to take detail from a chain, and then we move on to the global positioning system, and we've got a digital level which would pretty much do your levelling for you. But then also we've got the CAD systems to do all our drawings on as well.
My name's Sapper Livingstone. I'm a bricklayer concreter. We're one of the first ones that come in, so the plant operators will go in, they'll do all the groundwork, and then we go in to do the outside main first fix of the building, and then the other trades come in afterwards and finish it off.
You get two trades, so you become a combat engineer, and then you get a trade as well, so me being a bricklayer and concreter. The varies of different things that you do is just amazing. One week you're blowing something up, the next week you can be building a bridge, and then weeks after that you can be in Kenya building an armoury or a school or something like that.
I've done a fair few exercises across the country. I also, last summer, did a month in Albania doing combat engineering tasks.
I've been to Canada twice, I've been to Kenya, I've been to Jordan and Oman as well. I got a defence engineering diploma, which now means when I finish this course I can go on and do an NVQ in bricklaying and concreting. Yeah, I thoroughly enjoy what I do, and I would recommend it to anyone.
My name is Sapper Thomas, and I'm a fabricator in the Engineers. When you first come here, you learn the basics of welding, and then you progress up to different welds. And then after you finish that, you go to your unit, and then you learn the more advanced welding. So I've been doing MMA welding, I've been doing OA welding, which is gas welding, and I've pattern development, which is turning square things into round. And there's a lot of stuff, everything needs repairing. There's repairing vehicles, scaffolding pipes. There's a lot of stuff out there which I could obviously repair and become a better welder. What appealed to me was I can get something out of this when I leave the Army. It's a good qualification to have. There's different paths you can go down into the welding side of things. There's underwater, it's obviously on the rigs. It's quite a dying trade in the way of, a lot of people that do it, and I've got the opportunity to do it as a job, and the Army pay me for it.
I'm Sapper Alex Baker, I'm a carpenter and joiner. When we go out to different countries, we'll be doing woodworking, so partitions, windows, doors, skirting boards, stairs, roofing, flooring, really quite a lot of skills to be fair. And also demolitions of that as part of an engineer, so demolish old buildings, then restore all the old bits of wood. I'm doing stairs at the minute, so learning the terminology and how to mark it out myself. Thoroughly enjoyed learning different skills and then knowing that you'll be able to do it in civilian life as well. Got a trade, so when I do come out, I've got something to fall back on.
I'm Sapper Holland, and my trade is a building and structural finisher. So we do all the way from construction of a room. So here I have behind me metal lining, dry lining, which is plasterboarding. We do tiling, we're taught to paint various different surfaces, and all the way to flooring. The thing that attracted me to the trade is the fact that it's so varied. We are the last trade that goes in. The surveyors would start, measure up, bricklayers, and then we'd come in later on. We look at the plans. After we've got the plans and the measurements, we'll set out the distances for where the beams are going to be going, and eventually it will be tape and jointed, plasterboarded and painted. We're on a pre-deployment training for the project out into the Falklands. We're basically building them a living space in a large hangar, so each person will have an individual bedroom. There will be en-suites, there will be an armoury, a gym, kitchen. So literally we are building them a full living area. I think as a finisher you take pride in how something looks at the end result. It's first impressions for me, so you walk in a room, you want to see it's nicely finished.
I'm Sapper Penny, and I'm a plant operator mechanic. So see all these machines behind us here. We're the ones that operate and maintain those machines to carry out a variety of tasks. I've operated light wheel tractors, medium wheel tractors, medium crawler excavators, bulldozers as well, rollers and dump trucks. All the kit's been modernised and updated on a regular basis. So you see around the yard here today we've got a lot of unarmoured kit, but we've got a lot more armoured kit as well. We're massively in demand on pretty much all the tasks. You don't want to be doing stuff by hand if you can use a machine to do it, do you? So we studied to complete a plant MVQ whilst we're here. We also get an MPAWS card, so it's the National Register of Plant Operators. We got some extra driver licences, so we carry out our G and our H licences here for tracks and rollers. Personally, in my first unit, they sent me out to the Falkland Islands. I was there on a construction project, levelling off the ground and compacting the ground so it was of a stable enough nature to support the weight of all the wagons coming in with the containers and the cranes that they had to use.
I'm Charles Onslow, I'm a Lance Corporal, I'm a logistics specialist in the Royal Engineers. Logistics specialist basically supply all the materials that the tradesmen required. With the amount of different types of material and the amount of paperwork that goes behind it, you need someone dedicated to the accounting, keeping track of the cost of everything and making sure that the right equipment is delivered. An example would be Kenya, where we've been building a camp out there. We had electrical, so light switches, all the cables, the plumbing stores, roofing, paint, tiles, everything that you required for a building. So I was in charge of accounting for it all, making sure it was all stored correctly and issuing it to the tradesmen when they required it. The role itself is quite demanding, there's quite a lot of responsibility, but it is rewarding.
My name is Sapper Grinnell and I'm an Armoured Engineer. An Armoured Engineer is driving armoured vehicles, so we've got three types of vehicles. We've got a Trojan, a Titan and a Terrier. A Trojan is a mine-clearing tank. So if we approach a minefield and the battlefield can't get across, that's where we go straight up to the front and we clear the minefields for the whole battle group to go through. Titan is if we come across a gap and it's too big to build a bridge on, we would lower a bridge over that gap. And a Terrier is the smaller version of a Trojan. I am the first female Armoured Engineer. I'm the type of person who likes to challenge themselves. And when I heard that no female had done it before, I thought that that would be a great challenge to myself to see if I was capable of doing it. And then if I'm capable of doing it, then anybody's capable of doing it. I'd say the Armoured Engineers, you definitely look a lot cooler than everybody else. With this job, it's all about basically being covered in oil, covered in dirt, getting hands-on kit straight away, and just working and coming together as a team. It's good fun and you make some good friends at the same time as well.
Everyone is triple traded, so they are a soldier first, then they're a combat engineer, and they're also a tradesman.
The combat engineering side is something I enjoy the most.
We do building bridges.
Demolitions, learning how to blow up, say, enemy bridges.
You learn your trenching, mine clearance, fortifications.
Fully equipped and trained how to deal with razor wire, fencing.
We can do water supply, so we might go to a part of the world where we haven't got a running water, so we need to utilise sort of rivers and streams.
Like disaster zones after events like tsunamis, earthquakes, stuff like that, really aid in helping the local population.
We also learn watermanship, so we learn how to actually drive some of the boats that we use, the assault boats.
Every trade in the engineers will do combat engineering, so it's like a base thing that all engineers do.
It's a 10-week intensive course and finish off with a big exercise.
So on this exercise we've been targeting 3 main areas within the combat engineering realm, which is the survivability. This consisted of building fortifications, so using that civil engineering type skill set. We moved on to mobility, and we did this through bridging. We built a bridge over a culvert to enable armoured vehicles and wheeled vehicles to move through that area. And now we're moving into the counter mobility, which is preventing the enemy coming towards us. One of these skills will be putting demolitions on a bridge, which will prevent the enemy utilising that bridge.
Everyone uses those skills as well as the soldering side of it, which makes the corps so versatile because we can do more than one job at one time, and we can turn our hand to lots of different things as they turn up unexpectedly, as these things always do.